Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Skinner. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Welcome back to the first day of our year for our school board meetings. Officially our first meeting back for the year, so welcome, everyone. We're excited to begin another year, another school year. I'm sure we'll hear more about the successes that we've already had and the gathering that we've had for all of our students coming back and our teachers and our staff. So we're just glad to see everybody here, administration and staff that have joined us today, and everyone online. We'd like to say good evening, and we're glad that you're here just to welcome everybody. I'd like to call this meeting of the Spartanburg 1 Board of Trustees to order. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, the first agenda item is the chairman's report, which is the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of the approval of the agenda, the approval of the board meeting minutes from June the 8th, 2026, approval of the 2026-27 board meeting dates, the approval of overnight field trips, and the approval of the check registry. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Cothran. Is there a second?
Second. Second.
Thank you, Mr. Rollins. So we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Being no discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Unanimously approved. Thank you. So the next item on the agenda is the superintendent's report with Dr. Smith. Dr. Smith, you have the floor.
Thank you, Ms. McDowell. Welcome to all of our guests and those watching online, and students and staff, welcome back to school, school board, welcome back to the matters of the district. Again, thank you for all your time and your support, and we're looking forward to a great school year 26-27. I've got a great update from the start of school. So we were blessed enough, y'all know we started a new school schedule this year, starting on a Thursday and Friday. The early reports from the teachers, because the teachers came back on a Thursday, and they were allowed on Thursday and Friday with the Educator Assistant Act to have 2 days in their classroom, and we chose to let them have those first 2 days back unencumbered in their room. We got a lot of positive feedback about that because they got to come back and actually get their classrooms ready. And then we did our professional development the next week with them with various meetings. So got a lot of positive feedback from teachers with that. And then we also had our kickoff last Wednesday with all our students and staff. So we actually didn't start with that. We ended with that. And we got a lot of positive momentum. We had all of our staff and everybody at Chapman Auditorium. We had a festive occasion, lots of great music. Word is some cool glasses were passed out. I'll say a little more about that later. But had a great time celebrating years of service for employees. We had one service, one staff member, I believe the highest pin, Trish, was 35 years of service. We celebrated our support staffs of the year, our teachers of the year. So that was a lot of fun. Had a great game, Family Feud. That seemed to bring a lot of joy out. We have a lot of competitors in our district, so that was fun. And I was able to end with a brief challenge. And it just, I feel like, started us off with keeping the momentum we had from last year, because it is always great to be positive, and it is always great to start the year with a lot of effort and energy. So real happy about that. That carried over to the next day. So the next day was the start of school, and I was fortunate enough to be able to go to each school. Not at one time. It took, I believe it took about 7 hours to get to everywhere. But I was able to land everywhere and see a lot of smiling faces from children, and to see a lot of calm teachers and staff members. Again, playing off of the peace and calmness. And I take that back to the schedule of letting our folks come in and get their bearings. So great start. We wrapped up our third day today, and we look forward to just continuing the momentum we have. Now, for my part, I would like to mention with our executive summary, my team did so much planning this summer. And I would like to give them a lot of credit because I think they set our staff up for all of this calmness and being ready for the year, because my team worked really hard. And I'm not going to read the executive summary to you all. I'll let you read that at your leisure. But a lot of hard work went into planning the start of school. People always joke with me like, Mark, what do y'all do in the summer? Nothing. And I was like, you have no idea. The heavy lifting is done in the summertime, but my team rallies like they always do. And they had our staff ready for the school year. So I'll let you read your executive summary at your leisure. And also, I'd like to let the board know, I had a great recommendation from one of our school board members, and I'm going to do this for our board. Paula is going to lead this up for us. So on behalf of our school board, we're going to nominate Cliff's Resident Outreach for the Champions for Public Education Award presented by the South Carolina School Board Association. So Paula's going to do that for us. I thought that was a great idea. Cliffs has donated roughly around $200,000 to Spartanburg District 1 the last 2 years. I was able to go to a fundraiser a couple weeks ago where they're raising more money to donate more, and they are laser focused on student achievement. Don't ask for nothing that will not directly impact the student, because they are very mindful of their mission. So great folks, and I got a feeling they'll probably win that award. So I appreciate that thought, and I just wanted to update the entire board on that. Now, looking at my agenda, Meaningful Growth Initiative. This is part of what we've been planning. This actually started back in March of last year. I was able to go to some professional development for me, and I don't always take care of myself in that vein, because I just like to show up at work, and I like to be in the district. That's not a bad thing, because I think you want your superintendent mostly to be in the district, and I embrace that, because I always want to be here if if there's an emergency. But I did challenge myself to go to some staff development last year, and Dr. Quincy Moore hosted at the School Board Association, the South Carolina Administrator Association. They hosted a professional development training on Sean Covey's 4 disciplines of execution for educators. If you're familiar with the Coveys, you've all probably heard of Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective Individuals. Well, this is the same organization, and Sean, one of the members of the family, I don't know the lineage, but he developed 4 disciplines of execution for educators. And when I went to the training, it was fantastic. And I spent a whole day there with Quincy and her team and the trainers, and I absolutely loved it. So what I learned from that it could provide us, District 1, build a system for how we can be about continuously improving. Because I'm about continuous improvement. And when they started talking about a WIG, which I'll explain later, which is a wildly important goal, lead measures, a scoreboard, and a cadence of accountability, that was my love language. I was like, man, they've got terminology for what we're doing. But what we found is when you use this common language, it helps everybody being on the same page. So I was actually trained to be a trainer, believe it or not, and I got to go back to the old 7th grade social studies day. And believe it or not, I did teach, guys. I taught for 5 years. I didn't teach for 40, Mr. Gene, or for however long. I believe Mr. Johnson's got 21 in. But I taught for 5 years, and I love teaching. So I got to teach my principals, my assistant principals, and our instructional coaches this model of the 4 disciplines for educators, of execution for educators. So part of that was, what is our WIG? What is our wildly important goal? So I trained our folks, and then we also worked with them to develop as a team, what is our goal? So we came up with this as a group, and our wildly important goal this year is to achieve meaningful growth. One more time, our goal is to achieve meaningful growth. And what I like about this, I don't want this just to be about test scores, although that's a part of it. Everybody can grow, and I want District 1 to be a district that is about continuous improvement where everybody can grow. Every staff member, our nurses, our SROs, our teacher assistants, our teachers, our cafeteria workers, our custodians. And by the way, our custodians and maintenance team, I want to give them a shout out. Our schools in my 4 years have never looked cleaner, brighter, or smelled better than they do right now. Our team put in a great summer. It started with the work of Mr. Craig Allison as he went into his retirement, and Mr. Jonathan Vanderford has continued that, and I want to give them a shout out because they have worked tirelessly. And I also wanted to point out that our students could grow. They could grow in math, English, but not just math and English. I want them to grow in art. I want them to grow in band. I want them to grow in chorus. I want them to grow in ROTC. And I want your superintendent to grow. So our goal, our WIG, to improve, I've got a slide here for you, guys. Our WIG is to achieve meaningful growth. I want everybody in District 1 to know this. So what we did, after I trained our principals and we came up with our WIG, we had a 2-day training session at the end of May. So we finished school, and for the first time in my tenure, we started the next day on the next year. And that's another reason I feel like this year has started so smoothly, because we're laser focused on the project at hand. So very excited about that. So our principals took that training and that WIG, and then each principal had to go back with their stakeholders, their assistant principals, their teachers, and from our broad WIG, which that's a broad goal, okay, I know that, but then each school had to make their WIG, their wildly important goal, and they presented that to me this summer along with their technology plan, and Ms. Center will talk more in a minute about technology, but they had to present that to me, and then they had to present their WIGs to their colleagues at our administrative training on July 23rd once they all got back from summer break, for those that had a summer break. So that is the mechanism. We're super excited about that. So my team and I now are currently working on a document to help communicate this WIG to all of our stakeholders and take this initiative to all over the district. And we will present that document to y'all next school board meeting. I think you're going to be very pleased with that. We're just trying to take our story to our community, take our story of our success, what do we need to work on, and where are we going with our achieving meaningful growth. There's a lot of excitement out here now, and again, it's given us all a common language to speak to. So for the next 3 weeks, I will be having faculty meetings, which there's some humor in this. So as a principal, I only had one after-school faculty meeting in 11 years. I just always would talk to the teachers during their planning period because I try to respect their time. But I'm calling an after-school faculty meeting at our schools for me to go present our WIG and to talk further about lead measures, cadence of accountability, and scoreboard. So I'll be doing that the next 3 weeks. Once I complete that, then I'm going back to each school and having a meeting with our SICs, our School Improvement Council of each school, and our PTOs, because I want all of our community and all of our stakeholders to know this is what we're about. And this document that my team and I are working on, that is going to be our vehicle to take that to our community. Of course, we'll put this on the website. Of course, you will have a copy in your hand next meeting. But it's going to be something for us to celebrate and to keep that beat drum of cadence of accountability. What is going to keep us on task for this? Because it sounds pretty. It sounds great. The schools' WIGs, they sound great. But if we don't have a system in place to hold each other accountable and celebrate our successes, then it won't go very far. So I'm really, really, really excited. And that has led us to our one to watch. Oops, I guess I should point at the laptop, not the screen. Y'all can laugh. It's okay. So this year, our theme, guys, is one to watch. All right? So last year, we had the One Award, and that was a competition between schools. Well, I got some feedback in the surveys like, we don't know about this competition stuff, but we like to be recognized. So this year, instead of doing the One Award, we're going to have the One to Watch Spotlight. And my team and I are going to spotlight one school a month, sometimes two, to get everybody in, because we have 11 schools. We will spotlight every school. We will go to that school on a designated day, and we will provide lunch. We are going to get a lot of our business stakeholders to support us in that. We have some stakeholders in this room that I know are going to donate, and they just don't know yet. So I know that they'll be willing to help support. We'll talk later, guys, to help support these meals for our teachers and our staff. So we're going to take a catered meal to every staff, hopefully funded by donations, and then we, as the admin, will do the lunch duty for them that day. Last year, we tried the morning duty and afternoon duty, and our first day was at CGS, and the CGS teachers were like, Mark, thank you, but you can't do morning duty or afternoon duty anymore. Y'all let us handle the children. Y'all do lunch. So we'll provide the lunch. We'll provide the duty-free lunch, and we're going to highlight each school that is one to watch, because is an exciting time to be here in our district because we're going to celebrate those students and staff members that are helping us achieve our WIG of achieving meaningful growth. And this is the time to put on the glasses, Mr. Gene, because we are, if you'll notice on the glasses I gave you, the brand is One to Watch. So I know y'all have never seen me in sunglasses. My wife would be laughing hysterically right now, but we're super excited. We gave every staff member a pair of these glasses as a little Cersei, and staff, teachers and staff love a little Cersei. And they walked out. We've seen several in the car lines wearing them already, but this is going to be another cadence of accountability for us, reminding us that Spartanburg District 1 is one to watch. Madam Chair, that concludes my report.
Madam Chair.
And our future is looking rather bright. Yes, Ms. Hopper, any questions or any comments for Dr. Smith?
Yes.
We're all very aware that probably maybe the first time in a long time, we have a working board.
Every day. So some of the functions that everyone's not to attend, but I was fortunate enough to be able to attend Convocation last week. And I want to thank all this staff out here. I want to thank Dr. Smith. And this lady right here, she represented us so well in her speech. It brought tears to my eyes because she made it about what her teachers meant to her. She brought that forward. So even though we all couldn't be there, we had great representation to the staff, and it was just a wonderful convocation. And this staff out here, they did work hard. And silly me, of course, you know, I never get times right, so I got there 30 minutes early. So finally, Jada looked over at me real pitiful like and said, "Here, Barbara, get one of these barrels and hand out these glasses." So I had a duty too, so that worked out really well. But I just want you to know, if you ever have the opportunity and you can take the time to go, if it gets any better, this was really good. It was really good. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hopper. I will concur. It was amazing. Just the energy in the room, the enthusiasm, the excitement, the confidence. It was amazing to watch. And so kudos to you and your staff. It was amazing. And I think I'm excited for the year. It'll be a great year. It really will. I do have one other question, though. I just want to make sure that the WIG, or WIGs, I guess, and our 5-year plan, do they cross paths at any time?
They yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So we're taking into consideration.
Yeah, because
the
our
plans that we
strategic
already have
plans,
in our
yes, they're
strategic
all about
plan.
growing.
Okay.
In every category, that is
Okay.
what the strategic plan is
Okay.
growing. And absolutely. So this is the perfect WIG for the strategic plan because it's all about growth.
Perfect. All right, thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right. Thank you, Dr. Smith. Thank you, and to your team. Appreciate you guys. All right, number 3 on the agenda is our public participation. And being that there is no public participation, we will move on to item number 4. And item number 4 is curriculum update with Ms. Erica Center. Welcome back, Ms. Center. You didn't go anywhere, though, did you? Hard at work. Hard at work, that's right.
Can y'all hear me? There we go. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, board members, Dr. Smith. Thank you for this opportunity to showcase and just talk to you a little bit about what we're doing with curriculum and instruction in Spartanburg School District 1. So just a quick review of some things that we talked about at the end of the school year is our strategic AI implementation plan. And so everything that you see on the screen here are things that we've already discussed, but I just wanted to remind you and kind of refresh your memory as we kick off the new school year. In August, September, and October, our current plan is for our AI lead teachers to pilot Magic Student. So we're in the process of getting that up and going. October the 2nd, we are very excited about October the 2nd. If you remember last year on our October workday, we held the Empower Conference that was showcased by some of District 1's finest, where we had a conference-style professional development. We received a lot of positive feedback in our teacher staff survey, and we're excited to host that again. But guess what? Instead of Empower Conference, this year it's One to Watch Conference. So we're also excited with our glasses. We're also excited about the fact that last year our kindergarten through third grade teachers were involved in letters training, if you remember that. And so this year we have finished letters training in K through 3. So they will actually be able to participate with us in our One to Watch conference on October the 2nd. So what does that mean? It means it's almost going to like double in size. So last year we had 50 teachers lead professional development sessions. It was a huge, wonderful, exciting day. So I say all that to say is we're excited about October the 2nd with our One to Watch conference. And a part of what we'll do that day, as it will be a balanced approach, but some of our AI leads will be sharing out some of the experiences that they've had with Magic Student and provide some sessions in regards to that. But again, we'll continue to pilot Magic Student with only AI lead teachers at this time. I'm also pleased to discuss our technology guidelines for Spartanburg District 1 that we rolled out this current school year. Very basic 3 bullet points here. The first is that technology will be used intentionally to support learning with screen time limited during the school day. So it's happening during the school day, so that means it affects our elementary schools, our middle schools, and our high schools. So as Dr. Smith alluded to, all of the principals have devised a differentiated plan, school-specific, that they have shared with Dr. Smith. A few examples may be students working in what we call tech pods. Whereas before maybe all of your students in the class would be on devices while a teacher is working with a small group, a tech pod would be 2 or 3 kids on a device at that time. Another example would be some of our schools are doing tech-free days. So it looks different at every school within our district. The second bullet point, student devices will remain at school and will not be sent home with students in kindergarten through 5th grade. And of course, exceptions may be made when home use is necessary for instructional purposes. For example, if a child has missed days at school, they've had an extended absence. Of course, we would let parents know that a device could go home with that student. Another example might be if a student needs to study for a test and a teacher may feel like that some of the resources on their device provide them with a better opportunity for studying. And then our third bullet, indoor recess, when applicable, will be device-free. So again, these are 3 very basic bullet points for our Spartanburg District 1 technology guidelines that we are rolling out this current school year. And I'll be glad to take any questions that you may have.
I do have a question that the devices, if there's, bad weather, or we're predicting bad weather, would that be another?
Absolutely. That's a
Okay.
great question.
Okay. They would
Absolutely.
be able
Yes,
to take
ma'am.
it home prior to that.
And the less use of the devices, that's more sort of what the community wants, right? That's more parent-driven with feedback?
Yes, balanced approach to technology.
Okay.
Does that mean there's less homework?
Nice try, as Dr. Smith said.
Students, I was on your side there. Any other questions for Ms. Center? I like it. I'm a fan.
Okay, thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Thank you.
And I would like to welcome Miss Amy Driggers, Director of Secondary Programs. And she's going to be discussing a review of the 25-26 Advanced Placement Scores. And you might want to get those sunglasses out.
I know, it's looking bright.
Just saying.
Well, welcome, Ms. Driggers. Not welcome back. You've been here the whole time, too.
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Scores for APs come out in July, and I always know exactly when because my phone starts popping with everybody wanting to report in. And sometimes they've reported in great things, and sometimes they've been getting their explanations ready for me before we see them myself. But this year was it was just amazing. So I'm excited to share some of this with you guys tonight. So over the course of the year, students take AP exams. Some are year-long, some are semester-long. And they took 251 AP exams in our district last year across 14 different subject areas. Of those, our students earned an overall 90.3 passage rate on their AP exams, which is well above state and global averages. That's again across all of the scores for all the tests in every content area. Their average score was a 3.81. Again, well above the national and global norms. Even more impressive, y'all, 148 of those 251 exams, students scored a 4 or 5, which means they didn't just meet the college requirement, but they far exceeded that. And that included one teacher that I feel like I have to shout out, Mr. Tyler Berry, who teaches AP Calculus AB. All 18 of his kids made a 5. I've never seen it before, and it was extraordinary. So again, just outstanding work. They performed, again, well above of our 14 AP exams types. 12 of them exceeded national and global mean scores and passage rates. And y'all, it doesn't stop there. Of those kids, we had 52 students who earned AP Student Awards. 24 of them earned AP Scholars. On your handout, it will tell you what that means. So we had 24 students who were AP Scholars, 10 who were AP Scholars with honor, and 18 AP Scholars with distinction, which is the highest level of recognition from the College Board. They represent much more than scores. They reflect students who are willing to challenge themselves and teachers who are committed to providing that rigorous instruction, and we couldn't be more proud of them. So I just wanted to publicly thank the teachers and the students for the exceptional work. This is not common, and we're very proud of them. Thank you for the
Ms.
opportunity to
Driggers,
share.
I thank you for your report, and I would like to thank Ms. Center, Ms. Driggers, and their instructional coach team, and our AP teachers and our students with a round of applause. That was an amazing job.
Thank you. I'm super proud. Thank you.
That was amazing. Thank you,
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
Center, Ms. Driggers. But we can't keep this information, this good news to ourselves. So
agree.
I don't know who else needs to know, but our community needs to
Yes, ma'am.
know. I mean, I really think that this should be something that makes all of us proud, that we should.
Yes, ma'am. I agree. We've shared it,
Talk
and I
about
think it's in the
everywhere we
works
go.
for
Absolutely.
public release.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank
Madam
you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much. Yes.
I think we should also give a hand to Mr. Berry and his 15 students, perfect 5s.
Yes, this shout out for Mr. Berry and all the perfect fives. Yes, thank you. Exactly. Love
Thank y'all
it.
so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you so much, Ms. Riggers. Like being the bearer of good news there, so we like that. All right. Thank you, Ms. Center, Ms. Riggers. Okay, up next is our policy report. Dr. DJ Brown.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Dr. Smith,
Thank you.
school board members. Pleased to present the policy report for tonight, August 10th. You'll find it in your board packet. In addition to that, I've also provided you a paper copy as well. I believe it's 37 total, 35 that are first reading. The 2 that are first on your agenda tonight are 2 for the second reading, which are specifically, again, GBEBE, JICFB, which is Gavin's Law implementation, and JFAB, which is admission of non-resident students. And just a reminder, as I communicated with you, 2 weeks ago when I kind of front-load you with these policies per our own board policies, the JFAB, there's a lot of red and there's a lot of yellow, okay? And I explained that due to the fact that shortly after we did our first reading in June, the state pushed out their model policy. So I tried to make sure that with what we had done in June with the first reading and with what the School Board Association had given us as a model policy, that those things really aligned and mirrored each other, so it had the same type of language. So I wanted to make sure that you had note of that. With the additions, in yellow and the omissions that were in red and struck through. So I'll start off with those second readings, which is again the Gavin's Law implementation and JFAB admission of non-resident students for second reading tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Is there a motion to approve the policies presented for second reading? Policy GBEBEJICF. I'll start that over since my mic was not on. Thank you. So thank you, Dr. Brown. Is there a motion to approve the policies GBEBE, JICFB, JFAB presented for a second reading?
I make a motion that we approve, lost my line, GBEBE, JICFB, and JFAB for approval.
Thank you, Ms. Hopper. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Is there any discussion? Updates, any discussion? I do have. On line 262, a JFAB, admission of non-resident students. 262 through 269, I just want just a little bit of clarification
Okay.
for that, where if a student in an adjacent county resides closer to schools in Spartanburg County District 1, he or she may attend such schools upon written application of admission from the District Board of Residents and the written acceptance for Spartanburg County School District 1.
Are you asking if that's inevitably going through our process to apply for out-of-district or non-resident?
Is that what
Enrollment.
is that what it's stating, kind of restating that?
That's how I interpret it when I read it, Ms. McDowell. Is that any student, regardless of where they're at, specifically if they're adjacent to us, again, outside of our boundaries of our actual residence, they would go through this process for admission through application, acceptance of the application through our superintendent or designee.
Okay.
Dr. Brown, this would be based on space, right? If we have room in our schools.
That is correct.
All of this is based on our
Yes.
room.
There's a
we can
big
accept.
clause in here
Okay.
Yeah.
that talks about once we hit 90% capacity,
Great.
that we could, again, not allow any other students to come into the district if they're outside of the realms of our district residency areas.
And all of that information is communicated to our community prior to the application
Correct.
process.
There's some very, I say, strict things within the model
you have to do.
guidelines that they told us, again, we have to communicate with them an X amount of days before the application window opens. It has to be open for a minimum of 90 days. It has to be open before February 1st. So there's a lot of things with the model guidelines and now that they've given us that are inevitably the floor of what we have to follow that are going to be a little bit maybe different than what we have been doing in the past with the timing and everything.
So and there will be no overcrowding because we have to stick to a percentage of capacity.
That is correct.
Before we're able to accept out of,
That
or I
is
think you call
correct.
them inter-district.
Yes, ma'am.
Applications.
And again, I want to make sure I'm like answering your question
Okay.
from the beginning. Again, this is for, again, if a student is in Spartanburg 2 or Spartanburg 3, 4, 5, 6, even in Greenville County, wherever they might be, those students would go through this process.
Okay.
And not our students that are within intra-district school choice. This would
Right.
be only those that reside outside of our district.
Okay.
Which we were already doing.
Correct.
We already had a policy.
Yes.
This is going, this state has brought more regs with it.
That is correct.
But in essence, we're not changing anything that we were doing outside of some clarifiers.
That is correct. Yes.
The spirit of the law for us has not changed.
Correct. Correct.
Ms. Hopper?
This might be out of line, but I know that we still have not addressed the rezoning of our district based on our new schools and all this construction and everything going. So I mean, I feel like personally, it's better earlier than later because, time's slipping us by and all this, so that could affect the rezoning and the number of each school. You know what I'm trying to ask? I'm concerned about the rezoning.
Rezoning
thing.
won't impact this policy because this is out of district.
But it's out of district, but it could move students from, it's gonna move some students around, is what we think's gonna happen, right? Right? The
It's out.
rezoning?
Oh, rezoning.
Yeah, rezoning,
Rezoning could,
yeah,
Yes.
Rezoning based on
not
capacity.
accept
Yeah.
an out of district.
right, but
People.
I'm just saying to me, this is very important, this leads into rezoning, that this needs to be accomplished as soon as possible. I think it's something we don't need to wait on. It's just my opinion,
Yes, ma'am.
cause parents need to know too.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Any other questions or any other discussion for Dr. Brown for our second reading for our policies? We're ready for a vote? All right, we have a motion, to approve, and we have a second. So we're ready for a vote. All those in favor of approving GBEBE, JICFB, JFAB for a second and final reading, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Unanimously approved. Thank you, Dr. Brown.
Thank you.
And Dr. Brown, may I speak here about our policy flow chart that I already broke the rules because I didn't get my, comments in there, but I just want to remind everybody about the policy flow chart for us to be able to communicate with Dr. Brown any changes or any questions that we might have as
Yes,
we go
ma'am.
through the process.
Absolutely. So moving on to the first readings
reading, yes.
of the second half of Section G. So I'm pleased to present the second half for first reading of Section G. And this is in conjunction with my conversations with Dr. Beeson. I told her I will no longer, maybe after September, try to get on her schedule anymore to go through personnel policies. But again, I'm pleased to present these for a first reading. So if you have any questions about these, I'm happy to answer them along with Dr. Beeson as well.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. As a reminder, though, this is our first reading. The remainder or the other section of G is being brought forward for our first reading, which allows us time to review, ask questions. So is there any discussion from the board at this time for the additional policies of G? I'm trying to explain. The additional policies of G for our first reading.
Okay, so yes, I've got a couple questions. I know, first of all, let me say, Dr. Brown, thank you for what you do with reading through policy and answering questions and taking time out of your schedule to answer questions from us, helping understand everything that's happening. I've got a couple questions on a couple of these, but I think it's GBI about politics. It's lines 19 through 27, and I'm going to paraphrase. I'm not going to read them.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, it's talking about if someone's going to run for office, they have to basically tell their principal, goes up the chain of command, superintendent and board makes a decision if it'll impact their job. And I guess my concern there is that I don't want to think that we have the ability to step on anyone's civil liberties when it comes to running for a public office. And I know there's state policies in place about working in the district and being on that school board. But I'm just saying, if there's an office open, I would hate to think that we would try to prohibit someone from running for a public office that they are eligible to run for.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know if that's me overthinking it, but I obviously do not want to overreach into someone's personal life.
Yeah, I think in terms of lines 19 through 27, again, what it does say is, again, the level of transparency and communication that a staff member will have with their direct supervisor, and then relaying that to the superintendent and then the school board to make sure that whatever it is from a civic duty, political stance that they want to participate in, it doesn't have that level of confliction with their current professional duties within the district. And I see kind of what you're saying too. I feel like with line 25, where it talks about the board will make the final decision as to whether or not the activities proposed by a staff member are consistent with his or her services to the district and in the best interest of education of the district. I do see what you're saying in terms of the decision of it.
I'm still on, sorry.
You good?
I don't think it's our decision to make. That's kind of what I'm saying. I understand you don't want a conflict. You don't want it to drain someone's resources that they're providing as a teacher, administrator, whatever. But at the same time, I don't think it's our decision to make. Not if someone is a resident and it's their right to run for that office. Mm-hmm. I do not think we have any ground to stand on to say it's our decision to make. We can make a recommendation, but we don't make a decision.
Dr. Brown, I think I agree with Brad on that,
Okay.
the way he's put that. I don't think it is our decision to make. I think it's an employee's responsibility maybe to inform the superintendent, like, you know, you're gonna run for something just to make them aware. But I don't think we need to be making any decisions on what someone else wants to do. Just my opinion.
Is this information the proposal from the state?
Yes, ma'am. This is the model policy, and that's where I would say if I'm happy to
No.
have a conversation with. Go ahead, Ms. Rollins.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't
No.
mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
I just wanted to say, I think this would be absolutely necessary because each circumstance is completely different. If I wanted to be on a water commission, then that's something I could work around my job. But if I want to be a state senator or I want to go to Washington, I'm gonna have to make a decision between how bad I want to work at the water district or how bad I want to be a senator.
But that's the employee's decision to make, not the employer.
I'm saying the decision would be the employee, but it would
Right.
definitely be the employer's decision as to whether they could stay employed and do that.
I would believe that might be shaky ground to stand on. But I agree with you. If you're taking a full-time job somewhere else, running for election for a full-time job somewhere else, obviously there's decisions that have to be made.
I think there can be maybe a level of clarity, and maybe me communicating and talking with Ms. Cleveland at School Board Association might be a good point of contact and a resource to be able to talk to her, just kind of shore that up from our standpoint, what that needs to look like for us
Yes.
from a reading standpoint.
And
I
I
agree.
think the way I'm reading it, because it says, the school board makes a decision. I think the school board can make a recommendation. I don't think the school board should make a decision. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And in the same GBI, a little further down, under politics on school grounds,
Yes, sir.
it's around lines 51 through 57. I guess, so that means if I'm running for school board,
Mm-hmm.
I can't show up to the football game and pass out business cards saying, hey, I'm running for school board. But could there be something provided if it's provided to everyone?
I think this totally eliminates any type of campaign materials from being distributed by an individual candidate that is running for any specific position based on how I'm reading this.
So that's not even on school grounds.
That's how I interpret this.
Okay.
Correct.
And that was gonna be my question. So it's not standing outside the fence anymore. It's nothing. You can't even get on the ground stand. Okay.
Yeah, I believe this says on district property, if I could find the line that says it, but it inevitably does say that.
Right. Right. So no signs, no, sticker on a car is different. I get that, but like you can't stick a sign up on the sidewalk and
Not on school property,
not on school property, correct.
district
So-
property.
Does it mean that, you can't hand out anything, but you can stand outside the fence and introduce yourself? Hi, I'm Barbara Hopper.
I think there's, yep,
Yes, ma'am.
there's that level of ambiguity there, yes.
Is that with
Mhm.
fun?
Yep,
So it's a distribution of information. That
Materials.
can't be
Mhm.
on school property, which is pretty consistent to the way it's been.
I think the first part that we were talking about, I think if I decided to run for an office, I think having it in here that I would communicate with the board as a board member, or the board and/or the board chair or the superintendent, my intentions of running and having open communication, so that there might be some things that the superintendent or the chair lady or other board members could say, hey, but have you thought this might be a conflict? So this is just, keep that in mind. Not to tell anyone you can't run, but to have an open communication so that we stay within our policy and we're not conflicting with our policy with our campaign. Not to tell them what they have to do, but that communication is there and the talk has happened. And just for good measure, not to try to stipulate whether someone can run for public office or not. But I do like the idea of the communication. A lot of politicians can be politics can get ugly. And I think open communication is necessary. It's nice. That's how I feel about it.
So I'd just like to add to that point that Mr. Johnson made, where it goes on to read that no staff members will be allowed during the school day to participate in any of those activities. That's kind of where we've been with it in the past, is after school hours, standing outside the fence at a ball game, we could meet and greet and hand out, but we couldn't take it into the game or into
Correct.
the auditorium or the stands.
Yes.
But, yeah, so that would kind of
It's different.
nix that.
It will eliminate that.
Yeah.
Because that at that school property,
Correct.
even outside the fence.
Where does, since we're on this, where does, like when you're having to collect signatures, like for a school board, they are people that drop their sheets off at a school and just let people come by and sign it. That would not be acceptable anymore either, then, I wouldn't think. Which I don't think that that's necessarily acceptable anyway, but it's been done.
I wouldn't foresee that that'd be the case. Yeah, that should not be.
Okay.
Dr. Brown, just looking ahead, I think there's a section in K that references facility use for political activities. Does anything, were you able to find out if anything in that conflicted with our, I guess, I'm looking at the time between whenever we approve this to whenever we get to K.
It's a good point. Yep. So I'm glad you said that, because I did look ahead, and there are specific, what they would call exceptions to having a forum, if you will, or a meeting that includes all candidates on district property. Yes. So there is a specific one as we look ahead to K that does talk about that, and I believe there is even that in our existing policy as well in section K, but it also mimics that looking ahead. So I'm glad you brought that up, Mr. Cothran. Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, any other questions?
Yes.
For
All
Dr.
right.
Brown at this time?
Uh,
Mr. Johnson?
I think it's policy GCD. It's professional staff vacations and holiday. Curious because it's under administrators, I know they don't accrue over 30 days. But when it says they retire, upon retirement from the district, it's not a termination. It's not a, I'm leaving the district. It's not a, any of that stuff. It's a retirement. So they're compensated for up to 30 days of accrued vacation at their daily rate of pay. That's line 36 through 38. Daily rate of pay. And that's administrators.
Any accumulated vacation will be lost at the termination. Is that what, is that the
No,
one?
it's not what it says.
It's not 36?
It says 37 and 38.
Oh,
Upon, it's here starting in the middle of 37. Upon retirement
Upon
from the
retirement,
district,
okay.
a staff member will be compensated up to 30 days of accrued vacation at their daily rate of pay. At their full daily rate of pay? Because what do teachers that get retired, what do they get for their days? They don't get a daily rate, right?
Not
Or
to
full
my
pay.
knowledge. Correct. Yes.
So,
But they do not get vacation as well.
right,
as you know.
so we're going to pay at their full daily rate upon retirement? Is that standard practice? I'm just curious.
That's what
Well,
accrued
right
vacation.
now, at least for administrators, at least 240 individuals, there's no type of, I guess, compensation for their accrued rate over, let's say, 90 days for our specific teachers now. So our teachers are the ones in excess of 90 sick days. I believe it is $30 a day, a minimum amount of payment that they do receive for accruing that amount of days over 90.
Is that paid by the state, the over 90? Yeah,
Correct.
teachers get sick days.
Correct. Yes.
So what happens to the 90 days for teachers? Is that you were talking about?
Yes. So the specific 90 days for teachers, it can be accrued within their, we would say, years of service, if needed to, Dr. B. Okay.
When they have 90 days and they're retiring, those 90 days go into their retirement.
So that's like getting a half a year.
Yes, they can't carry
Right.
more than 90, so it's at the end of the year, let's say they have 96 days, they would get paid for 6 of those 90 days at the end of the year. And then they start out the year then again with that 90 plus the new days that they would accrue.
Okay.
But this is about vacation, which is totally different. Teachers don't get vacation.
But and then the 90 days would go towards years, I say years of service toward their retirement? Okay.
They go, sick time into the formula.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, any other questions? Dr. Brown, at this time, already good conversation started. So we have good bit of time to reread, look over, and do some more research, and we'll get some information back from
Ms.
from the school
Cleveland.
board,
Yeah, I'm
Ms.
happy to
Cleveland.
reach out to
Yes,
her about that one
yes.
specifically.
Yes, okay. All right, okay, well, that concludes the first reading of Section G, so thank you, Dr.
Thank
Brown.
you.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yes, and thank you for trying to, taking all of our phone calls and trying to help us interpret and make sure we're all understanding, we're all on the same page, making the best decision, so we appreciate you. Okay, so our sixth item on our agenda is our personnel report. Dr. Trish Beeson.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Before I do my personnel report, I did share with you all an FAQ that I've created, and in actuality, I want to thank Dr. Brown for how he's pushing these Gs through. And this is my way of making sure that our teachers and all of our employees are aware of the new policies that are being passed.
good.
And so this FAQ currently aligns with the Gs that have been passed so far, and I will update those throughout the year as we're passing additional policies under G. So thank you, Dr. Brown, for your work with that. Madam Chair and Board, I would like to recommend that you approve the retirement effective at the end of the it says 26-27, and I apologize for that error. It should be effective at the end of 25-26 instead of 26-27. We had one retirement, one late retirement that I ask that you approve at this time.
So you've heard the recommendations on behalf of the administration for the retirements listed in your board packet for the ending of 25-26.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a motion to approve?
I move we approve.
Thank you, Mr. Cawthorn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you so much, Mr. Green. Is there any discussion for Dr. Beeson? Okay. All right, so we have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor of approving the retirements, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Unanimously approved. Thank you, Dr. Beeson.
Thank you. Madam Chair and Board, I ask that you approve the resignations, which are also effective at the end of 25-26 school year that were in your board packet.
That's 25-26 as well.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you've heard the recommendation on behalf of the administration for the resignations listed in your board packet for 25-26. Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the resignations.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Rollins. Is there any discussion? Being no discussion, all those in favor of approving the resignations, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Unanimously approved. Thank you, Dr. Beeson.
And finally, Madam Chair and Board, I will ask that you approve the employments for 2026-2027 school year that were also found in your board packet.
All right, so we have an administrative recommendation to approve employment for the 26-27 school year. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Skinner. Is there any discussion?
Yes, please.
Ms. Hopper?
Dr. B,
Yes, ma'am.
my understanding, if I've got it right through our communication, we have an interim principal and an interim assistant principal for Chapman right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Those are interim. What does that mean, and what are we looking at for Chapman this year?
Great question, and it'll be for this school year that Mr. Jim Logan will be the interim principal for this school year, and Mr. Barry Burnett will be the interim assistant principal for this school year. And then throughout the year, I believe we discussed around November, December, looking at posting the principal job.
The principal job.
Yes.
Assistant principal may be a permanent type thing, could be.
Well, it's interim, and if Mr. Logan does not want to apply for the principal job, then he would be able to go back to his assistant principal job.
Gotcha, okay.
So we wouldn't be able to do anything with that until
Okay,
that.
that's what I needed to know,
is
as to
decided,
how that was gonna
yes.
shift. Okay.
But either of them
Thank you.
could apply. Either of them could apply when the jobs come open.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good. That's what I.
Perfect. Any other questions? Any other discussion? We're ready for a vote. All those in favor of approving the new hires, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Unanimously approved. Dr. Beeson.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate the frequently asked employee documents. So that's something they'll have in their hands and they can access online as well.
They already have it in their hand.
Okay.
So when I update it, I'll just send them a new copy.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice.
Madam Chair, can I ask one question before we move forward?
Yes, Ms. Harper.
And this may be for Dr. Brown and, what's your name? Mark, Dr. Smith. I went blank for a minute. On the policies, when we're making, changes to policies, and could be a policy that's affecting district-wide, every employee or whatever, or it could be affecting a certain department or whatever. After we approve these, how are these individuals informed of these changes of policy? Or departments are informed?
Great.
Because they're not all represented in here. How do they know?
Great question. We advise them. Like
Okay.
I took different policies that y'all had approved, and I gave that to our principals and had them pass that to the teachers.
Okay.
And Dr. Beeson worked tirelessly this summer with an intern that did a great job, and they got the FAQs for the G section.
Okay. One of my concerns is on one of our policies that we passed, I think it was given to the principals, and the principals were on different time schedules. So some of the teachers knew in advance, others didn't know till the day of or whatever. And I guess my question would be, would that be something, if it's affecting every employee in the district, that maybe could come from the superintendent?
Sure.
You know, this
Absolutely.
this
We're
is a
about continuous
district-wide-
improvement. That's right. We can take a look at that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Hopper. All right, so our next item of business is finance report with Ms. Lacey Brady. Welcome,
Thank you, Madam Chair.
because you've been here too, so.
I have been here, yes, I have been here. In your board packet was included we included the 2026-2027 SCAGO bond resolution. As a reminder, the SCAGO program funds our capital program by issuing short-term debt using our available 8% debt capacity. We brought this to your attention and consideration at our June 2026 meeting. And so at this time, we are recommending the approval of the resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of not exceeding $8,250,000 of general obligation bonds in one or more series. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Is there a motion to approve?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the adoption of a resolution authorizing the issuance of and sale of not exceeding $8,250,000 for the SCAGO general obligation bonds of Spartanburg School District 1.
Thank you, Ms. Hopper. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions for Ms. Brady? Any discussions at this time for Ms. Brady? All right.
All right, thank you.
We're ready to vote? All right. So we have a motion and a second. So all those in favor of an adoption of a resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of not exceeding $8,250,000 for the SCAGO general obligation bonds of Spartanburg School District Number 1, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Unanimously approved.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Brady. Appreciate it. That was, that might be in the shortest budget we've had, presentation. But thank you so much, Ms. Brady. Next is our operations and building plan update. Mr. Jason McCraw, welcome. Not welcome back, because I saw you here too.
That's right. Thank you, Madam Chair,
You're
Dr.
welcome.
Smith, members of the school board. Thank y'all for giving me this opportunity. I also have a lot of thanks to give. Over the course of, since we met last, a lot of work has been done. I want to thank LMG, and you will hear from Mr. Jim Britton here in a few moments, but they have been our construction management firm that we brought on at your request, and they have done a phenomenal job. This really has been a tremendous partnership that we've had with LMG, and they've done a great job of connecting the other partnerships that we had already established with our architects, with McMillan, Pasden Smith, our two construction companies, Thompson Turner, as well as J.M. Cope. And all of us, all 5 groups, have just been working extremely hard to make this referendum and this building project move forward at the appropriate rate and doing it the right way. So I cannot sing their praises anymore. It's been truly amazing. I also want to thank you guys for showing up to the groundbreaking that we had a few weeks ago. It was truly special as well. Tonight, before you leave, each of you get a gold shovel. And those gold shovels were provided. It's a unique thing. my sons came into my office. They were nice enough to give me a gold shovel as well. So my sons came into my office and said, "Dad, that's the coolest trophy ever." I'm like, not sure it's a trophy, but okay. But they really are nice. But each of you will get one of those as well. It's a great time in our school district. It marks a great opportunity for us to expand and improve what we have here facilities-wise. So make sure tonight before you leave that you get those. Dr. Brown can help you take those home. So I just want to make sure that you pick those up. Just a couple quick highlights. As we were planning and discussing internally today with our leadership team and Dr. Smith, everybody's like, be quick, be quick, be quick. And Miss Center looked at me and said, never mind, we at Jason, there's not going to be anything quick about him. So we're going to try. Just to give you a couple quick updates, we have started our bi-weekly OAC meetings, which are owner, architect, contractor meetings regarding new prospect. We do those right now every Tuesday at 2 o'clock. We meet on site, we discuss, we update. LMG is there with us because they're our owner's representative, so they're there with us as well as the architect and the construction company. So those have begun. This week we will have our pre-bid meeting for OP Earl and the early site package. So that part is getting ready to take place, and I don't want to steal some of Jim's thunder, but we will be looking to have the pre-bid meeting just this week. A couple of things, you know, I'd love to say that that's all we do around here is build new things, but there's a whole lot of other things that we have going on. Tonight's going to be about the building plan and the update for the referendum and the 3 projects that we have going on. But in the coming weeks and months, I'm going to need you to pay attention because there's going to be a lot of other operational updates as we talk about how we're going to do things at our existing schools, some other recommendations, some other improvements. But that'll be coming in the coming weeks and months. So I don't want you to think that all we're focused on, obviously, is the 3 new buildings. That's not the case. I do want to give a great shout out to our operations department as a whole. You know, when you think about that, that includes a lot from technology to transportations to maintenance to grounds to custodial to safety. Okay, there's a lot of things that roll into the opening of school, and our team has done a tremendous job. Jonathan Vanderford has stepped into this role as the director of maintenance and has just hit the ground running and has done a tremendous job. Y'all know how much I thought of Craig and how I tried to sing his praises while here and the work that he did for over 40 years, but Jonathan has stepped in and has taken the torch and is carrying it very, very well. We're down bus drivers, imagine hearing that, but our transportation director and routing coordinator are driving a bus every morning and every afternoon, and they are currently on their way to Lawrence right now to pick up a bus that broke down. So we have a tremendous staff from top to bottom, and Dr. Smith bragged on everyone earlier, but I just want to make sure I'm echoing that. We have people that are willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that our students arrive at a school that's ready and prepared for them, and so I just want to thank those people that work with me on a daily basis. They have just done a tremendous job. You will notice in your board packet that you will have a little notes or narrative on the presentation that you're about to receive from Mr. Jim Britton. So without further ado, I'd like to recognize Mr. Jim Britton with LMG, and then also don't want to forget Mr. John Hadaway over here also with LMG. Those are our 2 contacts who have been just absolutely wonderful. And at the end, after Jim's presentation, if you have any questions, we're all 3 obviously available to answer those. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. I will say it is a good team. It's been a teamwork approach, and any good team has good leadership. And I will say Jason, DJ, Dr. Smith have all provided fantastic leadership. They don't shy away from making decisions, and that's going to be a hallmark of the success for this project. As Jason said, I've got John Hadaway in attendance. He's going to be acting as our program director. He'll be leading 3 other project managers that we'll have on site. Our philosophy is hands-on and be on site. You can't really manage from an office or behind a computer. We're very hands-on, and we've got one gentleman already on in the district full-time, aside from John and myself. So with that, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Smith, I'm pleased to be here this evening to present a update to your building program. We were here last, I believe, in May. There's been a lot that's gone on since then. You know, we've got something out there visually that we can see, but there's been a lot of work to get to that point. And I will kind of go over each project individually. I'll also go over the management schedule. As Jason said, we have released a project. We had a fantastic ribbon cutting. It's one of the better ones that I've been involved with, and I appreciate being included in that. We've got a busy August. We've got 2 bids coming up. To put that in perspective, to encumber the entire construction side of the building program, there's going to be 5 bid packages. The early site for New Prospect has been released and awarded, and this month we'll be releasing and awarding, bidding, I should say, the building package, vertical component for New Prospect, and then OP Earl will be releasing the early site package. What will remain will be the building package for OP Earl, and then we're going to have one single package for Mabry. So New Prospect, we've got shovels in the ground. It was released July the 1st. The focus has been erosion control, the stuff that's not really fun, but it does make a big impact when you start moving, tearing trees down and prepping up the site for the building pad, which we should be moving earth in earnest around the 24th. That's kind of based on having all our erosion control measures in place, not just fencing, but detention ponds, and then get approval to move forward with the county. And we're targeting having the building pad ready mid-October, which will coincide with the bid package for the building. So a couple items, phase 1, $3,042,008 of the $20 million development budget. And I've got I want to kind of orient everyone. I've got a video that I'll be showing you. In the blue is kind of the path that we'll be seeing it, just so everybody's oriented. Phase 1 of the building, the first component of the building, will be the addition, and then next summer we'll start doing the demo of the other, the existing wing. Also, we'll be building new parking lots, and there's a lot of other moving parts, but I just want to, those are the big components just to kind of bring everybody up to speed. The video is about 45 seconds. It's kind of interesting. I can fast forward it if you get bored or people start glazing over.
You're fine.
Right. So we'll see here. That's obviously the gym where we had the ribbon cutting in the foreground. And we do these as part of our documentation. The old picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, a video is worth 1,000,000. There's another, and we do these weekly, sometimes more often than that, depending on the components. We actually will fly them inside the building as well. We also use a software platform called Open Space. It's almost like an X-ray. We walk it, and it really helps identify issues once a project's complete. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you can find valves where things are located inside walls. Mobilization went very smoothly. It is kind of a concern whenever you're working on a live campus. Thompson Turner is doing a very good job of separating and logging people in, so we know who's on site when. That's the utmost importance is security, separation of student operation and construction operations. Any questions about New Prospect? Let's see, how do I go forward? just click it. Just want to do it again. Okay, thank you. So OP Earl, this is the one that's on the near horizon. We have bid documents for the early site have been released. We'll be doing receiving bids on the 27th. It will have 4 separate bid packages for the early site that J.M. Cope will be receiving. Mobilization is anticipated in late September, and once that's complete, we'll be identifying a building package in late 26 and awarding it and starting work in early 27. Currently, it's continuous. It's continuous. I can't say that enough. Reconciling estimates and cost models with our contractor to make sure that we have good coverage within the submarket. With Thompson Turner and Cope, they actually we hosted a kind of a contractor forum to try to inform local subcontractors of the project, talk through it to help draw some of those local folks in. It's nice to spend the money where the taxes are paid, but the key to this is both Cope's and our design development estimates are very close, and we're within 5% of the overall project budget, construction budget. Once we get there's still some work to do, and there will be some work to do on both these big projects, and we're dealing with that almost daily. So don't really have any videos of this, but we're excited to get started with the early site. And then Mabry, it is going to be a single package, like I said earlier. The DD phase is complete. We're in CD. There's 3 phases of design. The CD, or construction document phase, is last. We just recently had a reconciliation meeting with Thompson Turner. Our estimate and their estimate is within 1%, and overall we're within 5% of the overall construction budget, which is important. If we don't get at least 5%, we don't feel comfortable moving forward into the additional, the secondary or the next phase of design. We're looking to have this project, the CDs, complete in late December, early January, and then bidding February, March. Overall management schedule, this has been updated. The red date line is today's date. Key things, we have 2 projects in the bidding phase. We'll get those 2 encumbered and started. And then the last one will be all the red stuff is Mabry. This is a critical path schedule. So if there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to try to answer them.
Any questions for Mr. Britton?
I had heard some conversation, just conversation. I'm gonna leave it at that. We're good on budget-wise for OP Earl, right? Because I had understood at one time we were possibly gonna come in short on OP Earl. That was just.
So it's always a struggle to you don't want to just, it'd be easy to make sure we're inside that budget, but you want to maximize your work scope, and that's why we are constantly working through cost models and estimates to make sure it's great to be under budget, but you don't want to be $10 million under budget and haven't had cut 10 rooms. So it's a double-edged sword working towards that. We're within 5% of the budget on OP Earl and Mabry. We still have some work to do to get there, but as the documents are more detailed and more complete, we're able to remove some of the assumptions and allowances that we have, and actually able to take off the actual materials involved. So to answer your question, I'm confident we're going to be on budget. So is Thompson Turner, so is J.M. Cope. And to Jason's point earlier, we are all in that same boat rowing together, and we all have the common goal. So we all feel confident we're gonna be there.
Okay, well, the one concern I have, and it's been 20 years ago, and I remember when Chapman was built, there were extra things that towards the end where they hit rock, they had all kind of things to happen. So I know things can happen that's gonna maybe.
You know, generally, you know, earthwork, there was a pretty comprehensive due diligence package where we were out there. Jason coordinated all the subsurface investigation, where we out there punched probably 20 or 25 holes in the ground. It always happens, you don't hit the one boulder, but
Right.
these sites are very nice.
Good.
S-
Good.
Specifically, I mean, compared to some sites we've been working through in the last 15 years, the amount of earthwork, the cut and fill is fairly minimal compared to the overall scale. I would say, you know, there's always potential for unforeseens,
That's right. That's what I'm talking about,
unsuitable
unforeseen.
soils, and we're including a general contingency inside these. If that contingency is not used, it'll roll into the building package, and if it's not used, then it'll go back to the school district. And that just allows the process to move quicker without everything having to come through as a change order.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Thank you, it's been a pleasure.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Britton, Mr. McCraw, Mr. Hadaway, thank you for joining us as well. We appreciate it.
Yeah, great job, Jim. I will say that when this whole process started, you know, you guys were like, well, you need some help. And I tell you, it's fun to sit in those meetings, and I have Dr. Brown with me in those meetings as well, but just so that we can have the more ears. Mr. Vanderford's been involved. But it's really neat to see when your owner's representative comes in and has already given an idea, and the contractor, and they just fit. They were both thinking the same things. So if there are things that we have to change in a design, whether it's HVAC, whether it's the type of roof that we have, there's got to be some compromises. But when everybody, all 5 parties, that's us, LMG, McMillan, and the builder, I guess 4, not because both builders aren't included, but when they all come together and they agree and it makes sense, that's just a good feeling to know that we're moving in the right direction, that we're being good stewards of the district's money, and that we're going to put the best school that we can on the ground, because we know, I mean, look at Mabry and Opero right now, they've got to last us 70 years. And so far, it's been a tremendous process, a lot of work, a lot of time. But I will say that Jim and John and Sam is the boots on the ground over there at New Prospect right now. They have been tremendous, as well as all the others from Thompson, Turner, J.M. Cope, and MPS. So that was pretty good. We must have done pretty good. No, only one question. So, Madam Chair, thank you for your time. Dr.
Thank
Smith,
you.
members of the board.
We are very appreciative for the monthly update, both for our existing buildings and our new buildings, because we want to make sure while we are taking care of our new buildings that we are also taking care of any of the operational needs and the capitals that we've already set aside and you know, determined that what we need to focus on. So we're excited about those
Yes, ma'am.
updates as well.
I have one more question. I would like to know if our CFO, Ms. Lacey Brady, is involved in this at all, because I think with all you guys, we gotta have a woman in there overlooking all you, okay? So,
Yeah,
I mean, I really wanna.
Lacey's
I really
got us
want her
all
in
under
there.
control. She's got us all under control. Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. McCraw and our partners with LMG Construction. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. All right, so next up is our executive session. Do I have a motion to enter into executive session?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we enter into executive session for receipt of legal advice regarding a pending lawsuit.
Thank you, Mr. Rollins. All those in favor of entering into executive session for receipt of legal advice regarding a pending lawsuit, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? I'm sorry, I didn't get a second. Thank you so much.
Second.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Mr. Granlund. I like the way Paula said second. So we have a motion to enter into executive session made by Mr. Rowland, and we have a second by Mr. Gramlin. So let me start over again. All those in favor of entering into executive session for receipt of legal advice regarding a pending lawsuit, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. We are now in executive session. right, do we have a motion to come out of executive session?
I make a motion that we come out of executive session.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Ms. Hopper. We have a motion and a second to come out of executive session. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None, unanimously approved. Do we have a motion that no action was taken while in executive session?
I make a motion that no action was taken in executive session.
Is there, thank you, Ms. Hopper. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Vanderford. So we have a motion and a second that no action was taken while in executive session. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimously approved. That concludes our agenda for tonight's meeting. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Cawthorn. Is there a second?
I second.
Second.
Thank you so much, Mr. Green. Thank you all for coming tonight. Meeting is adjourned.
All right, guys, give me 1 second to end.